Holy shit!
Today's episode is going to be all about the Justice League movie. Both versions, actually. Now, the way how this video works is that this is going to be separated into two different sections. The first half of the video will be discussing about the theatrical cut of the Justice League movie, while as in the second half, we're going to be talking about the director's cut of the movie. Straight off the bat, I want to let the newcomers know that I am neither a DCEU fan or an MCU fan or a Zack Snyder fan or a Kevin Feige fan or whatever. I'm just a simple guy that likes comic book movies in general. However, just because I like the movies doesn't mean I don't feel about the other universes in general. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. For example, I do enjoy the MCU films, the X-Men films, the Fantastic Four films, but my feelings for Marvel movies in general is that I think they're a bit overrated to the sense that almost every film actually almost has every single character in the Marvel universe, even in the comics in general. As for DC back in the old times, you only got Batman, Superman, Green Lantern. Ever since after Man of Steel that they announced that they were going to do a similar cinematic universe, that they're going to input like new characters that we never seen before in the big screen, like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, Shazam. Of course I was pumped because Marvel has almost have every single character in their Marvel universe, and while DC hasn't even scratched the surface of it. Now all that clarification's out of the way, let's get on with the Justice League movie itself. Now, I know most of you guys know about the production of the movie, but for newcomers, let me explain. On May of 2017, Zack Snyder had a family tragedy causing him to leave the project. He was replaced by Joss Whedon, the director of The Avengers, to finish most of his movie. But by the time the film came out, the movie had mixed reviews. The reason why people didn't like the theatrical cut of the film is simply because they noticed that some shots are replaced with color lighting, some of the characters' origins and screen time was cut out, specifically Cyborg because he was the heart of the movie. While the movie structure is a little bit of the same, there was some stuff that was cut out and added in. The stuff that was added in was more or less quippier dialogue made by Joss Whedon, sort of like the quippy dialogue that you hear from the Avengers movie. Also, that characters were cut out of the film, such as Darkseid, Hal Jordan's Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. The types of people that will mostly dislike this film or notice the changes are simply Zack Snyder fans, who actually notice that the tone is sort of different simply because that they know that Zack Snyder isn't the type of guy that actually makes random jokes. And I have to kind of agree too. I mean, when I was watching the film, I noticed that, hey, this is a bit lighthearted than Batman vs. Superman. But honestly, I never had a problem with it. I actually enjoyed it of what it is. And I know there are some people that actually enjoy this film as well. Like I said, it has a mixed review. I know most people hate it, but I know there's another group of people that actually like the theatrical cut. But even with these mixed reviews, the film was received to be the lowest grossing DCEU film in history. Well, up until Birds of Prey. And that shit got like 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, while Justice League got 40%. Good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes does not equal box office successes. Thus forming the trend, release the Snyder Cut. And this trend has been going up for 3 years, up until now, when Zack Snyder hosted his Man of Steel rewatch party, and gave us a surprise at the end, that the official director's cut of Justice League is going to be released on HBO Max next year.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god!
So that was your little quick history lesson of the Justice League film. Here's what the section about the theatrical cut of Justice League is going to be about, or commonly known as the Justice League. Not gonna lie, that's actually a pretty clever name. I'm going to be looking at some criticisms on the film that I can agree on, and some of the criticisms that I think that are a bit over-exaggerated or, like, poorly executed, if that's how you could call it. And I'm just gonna try to debunk those types of criticisms as I can, because if it was that easy, there wouldn't be this much hate going on around it. So without further ado, let's just get into the criticisms that I don't like about the Justice League film. The first thing I want to address of the criticisms that I didn't like, in my personal opinion, are the flash effects in general. I honestly did not like how they did the special effects of the flash lightning in that movie, because it looks a little bit epileptic, and especially it looks like he's teleporting. Now, of course, when he's running in a straight line, I mean, yes, it looks pretty consistent, but when he's just like moving from one place to the other in like a short distance, it kind of looks like he's teleporting, doesn't he? Honestly, I much prefer the CW Flash's lightning streak simply because it seems consistent every time Barry Allen moves, and it's not that messy. And the next criticism that I can actually agree on is the humor. And I'm not talking about the humor in the movie in general, more specifically, the humor that was put into Batman. I know most of you know what I'm talking about, but just to give you an idea, let me just show you this clip.
Yeah. Oh, something is definitely bleeding.
I mean, not gonna lie, I actually find that pretty funny. However, I can agree that Batfleck is sort of out of character, because obviously he's not like Tony Stark where he can actually make a little quip, unless if you're Will Arnett's Batman from the Lego movie. I think how they could have portrayed Batman in the theatrical cut without being so out of character is by doing the humor that was in the animated movies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you some few examples.
You exude pain. Your life is a patchwork of blackness with no time for joy. How do you cope with it?
I have a butler.
This one has cheated us many times. It is vexing.
Boo.
Let's get the hell out of here.
They're obviously funny, but Batman is still in his dark, gritty character that he doesn't even need to make these types of jokes. I mean, Batman isn't intentionally being funny. He's just being funny with using the humor like the no shit Sherlock type of humor, if that's how you could call it. In conclusion, I still find Batfleck's humor in Justice League pretty out of character. And the final thing that I didn't necessarily like, or that I can agree with, is the Russian family. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in the theatrical cut, they showed this Russian family for like a few scenes. I remember they showed each scene of the Russian family in each act of the film, up until the final act where they got more screen time. Well, in the first two acts, it sort of did it for comedic relief, and you'd be like, okay, who the hell is this family? Are they comic book characters? Do they have any significance in the film? Like, who are they? Now, of course, according to the Zack Snyder cut, in the Battle of Chernobyl, it was actually a deserted area. In the theatrical cut, they added civilians so that the superheroes can do, like, superhero stuff by, getting the civilians out of the way, which is simply a reasonable change, I have to admit. And while there were some other civilians besides the Russian family that were in the background, it seems like most of the film was more focused on that particular family. And it is kind of awkward. And to be fair, I did kind of see this similar shit in movies like The Meg, where in the final act, they focus on this cute chubby kid who wants to go into the water and then he's suddenly in danger because of the Meg is eating people. And especially in the movie Geostorm, where they focus on this Brazilian lady running away from the wreckage, and it gives you that intensified of what the hell is going to happen to her. However, the difference is that most of these scenes, they mostly focus on these specific people in the final act. The Russian family was given screen time for each of the acts. There was one scene in Act 1, there was another scene in Act 2, and they mostly get the screen time in Act 3. So they actually kept showing you these Russian family in the film, like if they're a porn or something. Now, Joss Whedon did actually explain this in an interview, and it's just a pretty blatant excuse. He says the audience is going to want to know these civilians better, and the answer was always like, no they don't. No they fucking don't. Joss, I understand what you're trying to do, but the definition of civilians are just a group of people that aren't related to any family in general. This is a one Russian family that you're giving screen time for. What you couldn't have done, however, is actually make a town gossip. People talking about like, oh, there's these man bugs that are invading Chernobyl. Like, you could have a little bit of like a town meeting to make it feel that there's other people besides the Russian family. Or alternatively, I would have cut out the Russian family scenes that were in the first two acts because they serve no purpose, and only leave the Russian family in the final act so that it could give the same suspense like in the Meg and Geostorm. So those were the criticisms that I agreed with in Justice League. Now we're going to move on to the criticisms that I don't agree in Justice League. After people that watch Justice League, people usually just compare two scenes from one another from the Justice League trailers and the Justice League movie. While most of these comparisons are just usually just color background lighting and characters being cut out, I do kind of find some of these comparisons a bit out of context, saying like, oh, Batman has a similar humor. Yeah, but all I see in this image is just, two Batman wearing the same armor. One that is smirking and the other one is serious. Like, I understand the context, but it's still just pretty much of a poor example of trying to compare something. And to prove my point, I'm just going to be using the Snyder Cut pan flipped that I actually got from a man named Gio from New York Comic Con. He was a really nice person, and I thought this was pretty cool. I'll link to his Twitter in the description. Now, before I get into the comparisons, I just have to admit, this was a pretty creative decision to make a pan flipped. There's this little message saying that the release of Snyder Cut movement represents an artist's integrity, creative freedom, and justice for the artist and the fans alike. He believed that movies are not to be determined by committees, critics, or the bloggers, but by the filmmakers, which is a pretty good message. And then you got these comparisons that you have, one for the Snyder cut and one for the theatrical cut. But don't worry, I'll go over the good ones before I go into the bad ones. So the good ones, they're usually just like comparisons, like showing them some scenes that are in a similar setting, like Batman trying to recruit Aquaman. You can tell that in the theatrical cut, Batman's hairstyle is a bit more scruffier than what you saw in like the Comic-Con trailer. Then you got the comparisons of characters of, saying lines, which I thought it was pretty cool to give them a little bit of context. Like, for example, when Batman is in, like, the Nightcrawler, or whatever that thing is called, in the trailer he says the word "my turn," while in the Justice League, he says, "Jesus, that's tall." Which, again, a pretty bit of an out of character for Batman. It's sort of like, yeah, of course he's tall. You fought Doomsday, you dingus. And you can see on the right side that Batman has a green tint. There's also the final battle scenes where, we have the blue sky, and the red you have the right sky. And then you got on the right side where Cyborg is wearing a hoodie, and on the left, Cyborg is showing his robotic body. Which people told me on Twitter that the studio had a limited amount of budget, so of course the hoodie was just to cover up his body so that they don't have to waste any more money, which I have to admit, it is a pretty good example. Now let's talk about the bad ones. There's a lot of these comparisons that I don't think they portrayed very well. Like, for example, there's one where Batman, on the Zack Snyder's cut in the trailer, he says, it's something more and it's something darker. Then you got on the right side where there's a woman on TV saying, "I'll stick a fucking probe up your alien's ass," which I don't understand the comparison. The next one is practically just Wonder Woman looking at the Shrine of the Amazons, which sort of explains the history of the whole Darkseid war like 1,000 years ago. And then you got on the right side of the Joss Whedon theatrical cut, you got Batman just showing off. You got Bruce Wayne just doing something. Like, what is that? What are you trying to prove here? This is odd. This is weird. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Another one is that on the left, you see Barry Allen facing off with the Parademon. On the right side, it says, "What is Brench?" I'll take that as a yes. Itchy. And the last one, this is my favorite part. On the left side, you see a flashback of Cyborg doing football. And on the right side, you see Henry Cavill in like a specific shot where he says, "Hope is like your car keys." I think this comparison is just a little excuse to add in the mustache gate. Which brings us to our second criticism, the CGI upper lip, aka this image right over there, in case if you couldn't tell. Now, for those people who don't know much about the whole mustache gate trend, I'll give you a little bit of context for it. When Joss Whedon is about to do his reshoots, Henry Cavill was busy doing Mission Impossible 6. He was the antagonist in that role, and his character had a mustache in it. So when the people at Warner Brothers decided to came in to get Henry Cavill for the reshoots, Christopher McQuarrie, the director of MI6, said, "Okay, you can use him, but you can't shave the mustache simply because it takes months to grow." And I could kind of see that. Even if the mustache did grow back, it would look pretty much inconsistent like the hairstyles that you see here. So what did Warner Brothers do decide not to shave the mustache? Simple, they actually used CGI to cover it over. So as you may know, a couple of episodes ago, I was sort of a little bit paranoid by hearing the mustache gate. And that's because I am simply annoyed by the fact that people keep referencing it every time in the media. Which in case if you don't know, there is a large group of people that actually notice the mustache gate and are completely obsessed by it. Like, there's a group of people that actually just doing the typical meme stuff by doing a little fan art saying like little behind the scenes pictures, or see Henry Cavill with facial hair and just try to course correct it with a smile or something. But there is another group of people that actually take this shit seriously and they feel devastated.
This is why we keep coming back to the mustache. This is likely to be the legacy fans, movie buffs, and the internet will remember about Justice League. It will forever be the glaring example of a greedy studio letting a blockbuster spin out of control by sacrificing quality to hit a release date. Instead of honoring one of the oldest staples of pop culture history, we got a mindless cash grab and a terrifying upper lip.
Henry Cavill's mustache being CGI'd away in Justice League, for example. Even if people didn't know exactly what was going on, they looked at that dude and went, "Wait, he looks very off. That's not Henry Cavill. That's a monster."
Mission Impossible Fallout was an awesome film, but as a Superman fan, it really fucked my character, man. The whole Superman mustache thing. Look at this shit! Look at what you did!
And to prove my point that this whole mustache gauge shit is gone out of control, I made a compilation video of a YouTuber by the name of Robert Storms to prove to people that this mustache gate thing is getting out of hand.
Wanna know the definition of insanity, Holmes? It's when you do the same thing over and over again and you expect something different to happen.
Nope, we didn't get that black suit. No, we just get a shirtless Clark Kent with a CGI upper lip because he has a mustache in the reshoots. Right? And when Superman came back with a CGI upper lip, Justice League is getting ready to be released on DVD and Blu-ray. So I figured, let's take the time, since this movie's getting ready to be released, CGI mustache and all. A lot of people say they can do that with Justice League, that they can put it on, just enjoy it to watch it. But you can see where so many things were messed up in Justice League. Josh Whedon had to sit there and try to figure out how he can Frankenstein this Justice League movie together. They CGI'd Henry Cavill's mustache, and instead of pushing it back and not do the CGI mustache and when he was in Justice League, he was mostly just a joke because of the bad CGI of the upper lip. He always had great respect for and a great relationship with Henry Cavill. His upper lip says differently. And then when a movie like Justice League bombs, then they're looking around like they're fucking confused. It's like, what the hell did you think was... But you know what? It's probably better this way. At least Henry Cavill's not going to have to worry about Netflix CGI in his upper lip. I would love to see a Justice League movie where Aquaman stabs Steppenwolf and Superman does not have a CG upper lip. They did my boy dirty, man. They did my boy about as dirty as they did Henry Cavill when they put that CGI upper lip on the man. You know what I'm saying, though? Now we're finally going to get to wash the bad CGI mustache taste out of our mouth of Justice League. Oh, man. Good days, man. Really good days. I'm happy. Like, I don't know. Like, look, I'm happy, right? Like, I don't have a CGI upper lip, you know?
And he also got other YouTubers, such as Film Gob, who actually used the mustache gate as some sort of counterpoint to controversial YouTubers like Collider and Jody's Corner when they say stuff like, Henry Cavill's performance in that film was spectacular.
Hated Man of Steel. I thought he blew dick in BVS. And in Justice League, I was like, oh, I can get behind this Henry Cavill.
Once he came back, my God, Henry Cavill is Superman. Henry Cavill is Superman. Oh, dear me. Seeing him in this film brings such joy to my heart. The lighthearted, bright, hopeful, he was amazing in this film.
Honestly, Film Gob, I don't think the mustache gate is going to prove anything within the context of what they're saying about their opinion on his performance, because it's not really in the context of him saying, oh, he looks visually stunning. Oh, he looks so handsome in this movie. He has some really sexy lips though, baby. Honestly, I shouldn't be that surprised because your thumbnail on one of your Jody Corners videos has pictures of the mustache gate. And the same thing can be said for any other video that has the mustache gate on their thumbnail, which I think it's some sort of tactic to get more recognition to your videos whenever you talk about a topic of Justice League or Henry Cavill.
The money generated from this video, I'm gonna buy myself a Lambo.
I think what people seem to be missing the point is that the mustache gate doesn't affect that much of the film, whether if it's shaved or just filtered with CGI. Like, for example, let's say in an alternate timeline, in another Earth, in the multiverse, if the reshoots did happen, and Christopher McQuarrie actually managed to get Henry Cavill to shave his mustache for the reshoots, would the theatrical cut be any different? Sure, you would be less disturbed of Henry Cavill's lip. And do you think that's really gonna make a difference with the rewritten script that Joss Whedon made? The answer is simply no. You would just still get these jokes about Barry Allen questioning brunch and Henry Cavill saying that he feels itchy.
People are difficult. They require a lot of focus. They have like a rhythm that I haven't quite been able to... Like brunch. Like, what is brunch? You wait in line for an hour for essentially lunch.
Like, coming back.
Itchy.
And believe it or not, there are some people that say that Warner Brothers shouldn't have kept the mustache on for the reshoots of the theatrical cut. Now, if you think Henry Cavill looks handsome with the mustache, that is perfectly fine. But in the context of Warner Brothers bringing in him for reshoots for Justice League, it'll just be inconsistent. I mean, if you really think about it, in the opening, if you saw Henry Cavill with the mustache, it'll be more weird considering that you'll be questioning, why the hell does Henry Cavill have a mustache. I honestly don't remember him having a mustache in Batman vs. Superman, and I'm pretty sure Kryptonian's facial hair does not grow like that. Oh, he's resurrected from the dead and he suddenly has a mustache. And it's from the opening. And he's not gonna shave the mustache in the final act. And a lot of people use this as an example of bad CGI, and I'm not talking about VFX artists because these are people that actually work on this effect so they can tell what's good or bad CGI. But you could put out other examples of bad CGI than just a mustache gate. For example, the purple roots from the final act, theatrical cut Steppenwolf. Honestly, at the end of the day, people just need to know that the mustache gate isn't really that big of a deal, whether they just shaved it or just cover it up. And just to clarify, this has nothing to do with people's opinion about how they feel about the mustache gate. If you think it looks ugly, that is perfectly fine. I'm just saying that sometimes people feel personal about it, and sometimes they use it as their main focus. That is all. Moving on to our final criticism. Another thing about the criticisms of the Justice League is that people say that the decision of replacing Zack Snyder with Joss Whedon is the dumbest decision that they have ever made.
For those of you that don't know, Zack Snyder got fired from Justice League by Jeff Johns.
My name is Jeff.
And he hired Joss Whedon in his place. That is one of the dumbest decisions ever.
Now, it is a controversial decision that they made in your opinion, but I wouldn't say it's a dumb decision. If you want to see an example of a dumb decision, you gotta check out with the situation of the Titans Season 1 finale, because the reason for that is unbelievable. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Titans Season 1 ended with Dick Grayson being revealed to be in his own little world where Batman actually is a serial killer and Dick tries to stop him. It was revealed to be a trick by Trigon. Now, this episode doesn't really feel like a season finale. That's because it wasn't the original season finale. They replaced the season finale with the season premiere. But here's the most absurd part. The season 2 premiere wasn't the real season 1 finale, it was actually a reshot version of the season 1 finale. Doesn't that sound familiar? Okay, so these are the changes. Dick Grayson, aka Robin, would get his Nightwing costume, probably in a dream sequence. There are some behind the scenes photos with him in his Nightwing costume, which is the same costume that was in the season 2 finale of Titans, which allows me to believe that they're actually reusing costumes. Beast Boy would have been killed by Dick, only to be revived by Raven. The Doom Patrol was supposed to show up. Raven and Starfire would have gotten their comic book accurate costumes, although it was said that Raven actually got her comic book outfit from a 300-day trial from Azarath. But as for Starfire, it is clearly unknown how she got her costume. I hope we actually get to see her wear that suit in Season 3. Wonder Girl would have mentioned Kid Flash. Trigon was supposed to be pretty much bigger than the one that we saw in Titans, and most of the image where you see Starfire beating a bunch of thugs, those are actually members of the Hive organization that was supposedly hired by Deathstroke, leading us to Season 2. Now, by hearing all of this and seeing all the behind-the-scenes footage, it sounds like it would have been a really awesome finale, and there was no reason to actually reshoot that. But what was the reason? This is what the showrunner Greg Walter said in an interview. So I'm curious, in part because of the episode count changed from 12 to 11, did your original finale turn into the Season 2 premiere? A version of that, yes. We're cannibalizing some of the stuff from the episode 12 for the premiere. We thought it was such a good cliffhanger at the end of episode 11, and we wanted to go for an even bigger, better Season 2 opener. We had a big idea and our friends at DC bought it. So that's what I figured. You were watching a cut of episode 11, and once Dick's eyes went dark, you decided that, hey, we could just send in here, and then Season 2 is about what happens next. Yeah, it's really fun to be able to, where we're going to go with it. We're going to also use the Season 2 premiere to launch a new villain, and because Trigon's role in canon is so huge, we felt like we really needed to give him a really big episode. The kind that you can launch a season with. Well, Trigon wasn't really that big in the Season 2 premiere. So in a nutshell, the real reason why they decided to reshoot the Season 2 premiere, or the Season 1 finale, is simply because they felt like it. Which is an awful excuse. Now let's take a look at the comparison with the issues with the Justice League movie. Now, as you may or may not know, ever since Batman vs. Superman got a horrible rating on Rotten Tomatoes, they had a risk whether or not they could show Zack's original vision, and then Rotten Tomatoes should just give them the DC superhero fatigue. Remember, the reason why Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman had criticism is simply because of the dark tone. Or they could just reshoot the film and make the tone similar to the MCU to please the critics. Now, of course, the race didn't go well, but thinking as a studio executive, the reason why they chose Joss Whedon is actually kind of reasonable. And here is why. In an interview with Patty Jenkins, she was asked if she would like to do another Justice League movie. And her answer is this.
To direct a Justice League movie, does that interest you at all?
The Justice League movie, I find those movies to be extremely challenging. I think they're fantastic when they're well done.
So what she said was practically a maybe, in a maybe spectrum, because making a superhero team-up film with all the character interactions is actually kind of a hard thing to do. And so of course Warner Brothers cannot hire just a random director that hasn't done this kind of movie. So what is an accurate replacement that does a similar superhero team-up film that has really good character interactions? You guessed it. And I know Joss Whedon's tone of film is drastically different than Zack Snyder's tone, but when it comes to a team-up film, you have to find a director like him to actually replace the work for it. And just to be clear, I'm not saying what they did was right or wrong. I'm just saying that unlike the Titan situation where there was no at all reason to actually change it, Warner Brothers has an actual reason, and they actually got a director that worked on a similar film. So it's not really stupid. It actually makes sense why they would do it. So, now that the Snyder Cut is actually going to be released, what is going to be the results? Now, a lot of people have theorized that if the Snyder Cut does well, which let's hope it does well, if Rotten Tomatoes doesn't give it a fucking 20%, they're going to get some miniseries on HBO Max, such as a Batfleck series or a Cyborg series, which are really good theories and rumors in mind, but I mostly think this could actually finish Zack Snyder's original trilogy plans. Now, I know some people are somewhat speculative about how this could work, because there are spin-offs like Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman 1984, Birds of Prey, that are still connected to the DCEU. It's just that they never really lead up to the whole Justice League story that Zack Snyder was going to do. That they feel they have to do the thing like how Terminator did. Well, like, all those movies after Terminator Judgment Day, those are not canon and they have to replace it with Terminator Dark Fate because of the backlash with Genesis. I wouldn't say that's the case, simply because they are obviously connected. Jason Momoa stated in an interview that his Aquaman movie is canon to Zack Snyder's Justice League, not Joss Whedon's. Then there's the Shazam movie, which I already explained in my previous video, where there are newspaper articles about the whole Superman resurrection and the invasion of Russia, and also the Superman cameo. And then you have Birds of Prey, which they have a little Easter egg of Suicide Squad where Harley Quinn sees a poster of Captain Boomerang, and she says, "Hi, I recognize that guy."
Thanks, Joe. You're a peach. Hey, I know that guy.
And as for Wonder Woman 1984 and Black Adam, those are just flashback movies, so they don't really affect any of the overall Justice League arc that they have. As a matter of fact, if you think about it, in the Apocalypse battle, there were actual gods that actually joined the battle with the Atlanteans, Amazonians, and the humans. And guess what superhero that has those powers of those particular gods? Shazam! Thank you for watching this episode of Entertainment Detective. I hope you guys enjoy it. Honestly, I don't even know how to end this video, but like any other YouTuber, just, subscribe if you enjoy it, leave a like, and just, comment on the video. Also, here's something that you might not know. I was actually in a Snyder Cut podcast where I talked to a group of Snyder Cut supporters, and we talked about a lot of rumors. We talked about our feelings of Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, and, most of the stuff like that. We gave all of our opinions. It was a really fun talk. And there's going to be a link of that in the description below, in case if you guys want to check it out. But just to let you know, that podcast is only audio, simply because the video portion, they said it was a little bit choppy because of the signal. But if you want a video version of the podcast, let me know. Also, I want to show you a little something that I'm working on. Some of you guys might actually be surprised at what this scene is really about. I'll give you a hint. It's something that's related to my old content, and I'm reviving it back. Check it out for yourself, and I hope you enjoy it.
What the hell just happened?
All I can say is hallelujah, it's raining men.
Do you think that he's one of those aliens?
Maybe. Let's take him in.
Stand down, officers. That right there is Superman.
Did you say that's Superman?
We thought he was dead.
And now he is alive. So leave this to us, okay?
Okay.
By the gods, it actually worked.
Where am I? What happened?
Kal-El, it's me, Kara, your cousin.
Kal-El? I thought his name was Clark.
You see, Kal-El is his real name. Clark is the name given him by his adoptive parents who found him as a baby when he landed on Earth. You keep calling him by his Earth name. I am calling him by his Kryptonian name.
So does that make me Con-El?
Connor, you are a clone from Cadmus. You don't have a Kryptonian name.
Oh.
Who's Clark? Who's Kal-El? Who am I? Hey, Victor, why doesn't he remember anything? Shouldn't he recognize Kara by now?
I think his brain might have a bit of amnesia. We need some sort of trigger to bring back his memories.
I already got it covered. Let me guess. Does it involve kryptonite?
First off, no. It's just in case things go south. And second, how do you know about kryptonite?
I've managed to make kryptonite arrows ever since I met Kara. You know, just in case.
Same.
Ah! Why am I hearing so much noise?
Cal, it's okay. It's your super hearing. It's pretty sensitive when you're on Earth.
I hope he didn't overhear our conversation about kryptonite.
I don't think he did. He might need some concentration in order to listen.
Victor? Are you okay?
For some reason, my body's gone rogue. It's in attack mode.
What? Why?
I don't know. It's talking to Superman.
Dick, has this always happened when Victor is out on a mission with your team?
No, this is the first time. Look, if we don't deal with this so-called malfunction, Jason Bourne over here is going to get the wrong idea and thinks we're the enemy.
You think that I don't know?
Excuse me, you. Are you trying to shoot me? Well then, that just about sums it up. You tried to kill me. Now I'm going to kill you.
Oh, poop.
Oh, shit.
Kal-El, don't!
I told you, Bruce. This was a bad idea. Hey, that's new. Bruce, you better load that kryptonite gun. We're gonna kill him again.
Diana, are you crazy? I am not going to lose my cousin again.
She's right. We've worked too hard to bring him back. Plus, I've reduced the kryptonite in the bullets so that he wouldn't be killed.
Same with my arrows.
What we need to do is to get his memory back. Jimmy, where is Lois?
Sorry, Car. We're stuck in traffic.
Sorry, Bruce. Our key is going to be delayed.
We have to strain him before they arrive. Stand back, newbies. Let the pros handle this.
What do you mean, newbies? You formed this team a day ago! My team has been doing this for 6 years! What?
Kal-El, the last son of Krypton. Remember who you are. I may have no memory of who I am, but all I know is that I'm unstoppable.
Not when you're dosed with kryptonite.
That so-called kryptonite didn't do shit.
Damn it, I told you making the effects last for a second was too short.
You did what?
Bruce, he is definitely looking at us.
You think?
Laurel, I need your assistance.
Finally, something to do. To be honest, this is even worse than the island.
Kal-El, please. You need to snap out of it.
Okay, Bruce. We tried things your way, now we do this my way. Titans, go! Rachel, use your ability to connect Bruce's mind to Clark's.
Got it. What about me, Dick? Can I use my abilities for this plan?
Corey, your ability literally gives him strength. It would be an advantage to him.
Good point.
Wait, hold on. What's your plan exactly?
We are going to put you into Clark's mind to find his memories. Trust me, I did this with Connor once.
Dick, I don't think this is a good idea.
Azarath, Metreon, Zinthos!
I remember now. See, Bruce? Like we trust your plan, you have to trust another. You tried to kill me!
Clark, listen. I'm sorry that I tried to kill you. I was uncertain of your abilities. And ever since then you made your sacrifice to stop Doomsday. I realized that the world needs hope again.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill you.
Our moms both have the same name.
I'm sorry. What? That is the stupidest reason not to kill you.
Well, it worked on me.
That's because it was a trauma that caused you to hesitate!
I thought that the trauma of Lex kidnapping Martha would trigger him to be allies again.
It's not a trauma because she didn't die in front of his face, you idiot! Well then, now that that's been cleared up, let's see if you can bleed.
Clark, it's us. Lois and Jimmy, your friends. You have to remember.
Lois? Jimmy? Oh my god.
I never thought I would see you again.
I felt the same way. Plus, I remember clearly now. Sorry for almost killing you, Bruce.
No worries. I did kinda deserve it. So, Clark, now that you got your memory back, let me explain what happened while you were dead.
Now hold on, Bruce. I just got back from the dead. I need to catch up with Lois for a while.
I'll go after him. Give me a call on your next mission, and I will tell Clark what's going on.
Can I come with Kara? I mean, I never met the Man of Steel in person before, so I thought it would be interesting to get to know him.
Okay, Connor. But be back when we have another mission, okay?
Okay.
Wait, how do you know exactly where they're going?
If I know Kal-El, He's probably going to Smallville.
Don't worry about me. I'll just head back with my motorcycle. Did he get his memory back?
Yeah, but he needs a moment.
Does he know about the team, the invasion?
Carl will tell him about it. What's our next move? We'll head back to Star Labs and track down Steppenwolf with the help of Silas.
Except for us. We need to head back to San Francisco just in case the invasion happens.
And they know who to call.
Hey, Cisco, can you open 2 portals? One to the Titans Tower and the other to Star Labs.
Central City or Detroit?
Detroit.
Good thing I've been to that place. Although my memory of it is a bit rusty.